How I got credit cards with no money and bad credit. Yeah, you heard that right. I used to have the worst credit imaginable. Seriously, I had foreclosures, bankruptcies, late payments, everything imaginable that's bad on your credit, I had. But guess what? I ended up getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit cards, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how I got that done. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, all you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
I'm going to share with you my real story on how I overcame bankruptcies and foreclosures and how I now have over an 800 credit score today. I'm going to give you an easy, simple, step-by-step process on how you can fix your credit and do it the same way that I did in just a matter of months. And I'm going to share with you my biggest secret on how you can get this done legally and ethically for free. So let's talk about personal credit, because this is what most of us know, and some of us have really bad credit like me. Well, there are three credit bureaus when it comes to personal credit. You have Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And all three of these credit bureaus will give you what's called a score, a FICO score. And your FICO score is based upon how well you have repaid your debts or how well you have trade lines on your credit report. Each time that you take out credit, you get what's called a trade line on your credit report. It's going to give you all of the information on that creditor. It's going to say when you open that account, how much the high balance is, how much you still owe, what the monthly payment is, how many of those payments you have made on time, and how many of those payments you have made 30 days late, 60 days late, or 90 days late. Additionally, on your credit report, besides trade lines, you're also going to have your personal information at the top. It's going to have your name, your address, your social security number, and things of that nature. And based upon all of these things, you're going to have a credit score. And your credit score is derived of the mix of the trade lines. Yeah, your personal information matters, because if you have a lot of mismatches with addresses and things like that, that can lower your credit score. But the more important thing on your credit report are those trade lines. They want you to have a mix of trade lines. They want you to have installment loans like car notes. They want you to have revolving trade lines like credit cards, meaning as you pay it, it reopens, it's revolving. And they want you to have car loans and loans, personal loans, mortgage loans, auto loans, and things like that. Once you have a good mix of credit and you pay all of your credit on time, you will have what's called a good credit score. A score over 720 is considered a good credit score and will be able to get you most things in the personal credit business world. Well, for me, I did not start with a good personal credit score. I started with a terrible credit score because I had a bankruptcy, meaning I had no money. I had more debts than I had assets, so I filed bankruptcy. And I had lots of foreclosures, meaning I had mortgages that I did not pay for, and the bank literally took those properties back and they put it on my credit report. So those are like the worst things that you could possibly have on your credit report. I had them back in 2008, 2009, and I had to move into my parents' basement, but this is where I fixed my credit. So let me tell you how you can get that done. So let's talk about how you go from bad credit to good credit like I did. Here is the secret sauce. When I was in my parents' basement, I needed to make a change. Like I said, I had terrible credit. It was awful. I think my score was less than 600. It was like 550 or something really, really low, meaning no one would give me anything, not even a Capital One credit card. Well, what my dad did actually changed my life. I started going to real estate investor meetings, and they started telling me about what's called a credit sponsor, meaning someone that had really good credit could put me on their credit cards as an authorized user. And then by doing so, I would get new trade lines on my personal credit report. That would allow my credit report to now show all of these amazing new trade lines that had been paid very well and had a full history. So being that my dad is a much older person than me, at the time he had over an 800 credit score. I didn't even know anyone with a credit score so good. So he was able to put me on 3 of his really good credit cards. He had a credit card with a credit union, he had an American Express card, and he had a Chase card. He put me as an authorized user on all 3 of those credit cards, and they reported on my credit bureau. I was shocked. Within 30 days of those 3 credit cards reporting on my credit report, my score jumped by over 100 points. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even know this was real. And literally, I found this information out absolutely free, the same way that you're finding out today. So know that I am just paying it forward. I'm just doing something that someone taught me. I used what's called a credit sponsor. Now, my dad had the option of giving me those credit cards and letting me use them as I so choose, or we could do what we were simply doing, which was simply to help me fix my credit report. So he did not give me those credit cards, so it was not very much of a risk to him. He just put me as an authorized user. Yeah, when I got those credit cards in, I had to activate them and give them my social security number so it could report on my credit report. But my dad did not trust me, and he did not give me those credit cards because at the time I was not working. Like I said, I had bad credit and I was living in his basement. So he did not give me any of those credit cards. So I tell you this because it is really easy to find someone to do this for you because it is not much risk to them. Yes, there is a risk to you if they stop paying those credit cards, for example, or if they don't make the payments. Yeah, that could actually hurt your credit. But most likely, if someone has really good credit, like an 800 credit score, they are used to paying their credit cards on time for a very long time. So it really can just help to boost your credit score, which is what it did for me. And then I was able to get my own credit cards in my name and then remove myself as an authorized user on his cards at the right time. Let me tell you the next step of this because it is amazing. And like I said, I have American Expresses in platinum with no limits now, and I want you to be able to do the exact same thing that I did. The second step that you want to do is get your own trade lines. So once those new credit cards are now reporting on your credit bureau, like I said, your credit score will shoot up. Mine shot up by over 100 points when those 3 credit cards reported because they had long histories and they were always paid on time, and my dad continued to pay them on time. So it helped my credit score. So now I was able to apply for my own secured credit cards and start rebuilding my credit really quickly. So one of the things that I did is I had a checking account with Wells Fargo. I was able to get a secured credit card with Wells Fargo, and this reported on my credit report as well. The next thing that I did, and this was amazing, I was able to get a secured loan against my savings account, and this reported as an installment loan on my credit report. Again, absolutely free, did not cost me anything to set these things up. All I had to do was go into the bank, which is what I did. I went to Regions Bank. I put $1,000 into a savings account, and then I applied for a loan against that savings, okay? So basically you could put 1,000 and 500, and then you get a loan for that exact same amount. It's called a secured loan. So they automatically approve you even if you have poor credit. And the great thing about it, like I said, is it didn't cost you anything. You put $1,000 in, they loaned you $1,000 right back. So it's not like you don't have access to that $1,000. You do. And again, you could even borrow the money from someone, let them put it in the account, then do the secured savings loan, and it still will report on your credit report as an installment. So as you can see, it was easy for me. I was able to get 3 new credit cards. That was step 1. Then step 2, I was able to get my own secured credit card with my bank that I had a checking account with. And then step 3, I was able to get an installment loan against my savings at a different bank. So now I was able to have 5 new trade lines in the matter of 30 days and able to turn my credit from low, 500s over 700s in just a few months from beginning to end. And that is how I completely changed my life, changed my credit score, and then I got business credit to start paying off all of that personal credit card debt, which I explained to you in a whole nother video, but that is just mind-blowing. This is how you can easily fix your credit and do it for free. So as a quick bonus, like I said, one of the things that I did to really get myself out of the personal credit game was I started building business credit. And again, I have an entire playlist right here on YouTube, absolutely free, where I teach you how to build business credit even with bad personal credit, okay, which is what I had going. And so then once I was able to also fix my personal credit, like I just told you, then I was able to build business credit. I essentially had 2 different entities that I could borrow money from. And I never even had to touch my personal credit once I started relying on my business credit. In fact, I was even able to take a lot of my personal debt and move it onto my business so that it was no longer a personal liability for me. This was an amazing, mind-blowing millionaire step for me. This is how I got to become a multi-millionaire, because now I have great personal credit, but I don't have to use it. I'm able to access my business's credit. I'm able to put cars in my business's name, houses in my business's name. I'm able to get business credit cards, business loans, lines of credit, basically everything in my business's name without it reporting on my personal credit report. Again, this is a simple and easy step that you need to do. I can't wait to share more about this with you. Wow, I am so happy I was able to share all of that information with you, and I have a free gift just for you. Go to noellsfreebook.com and pick up my book, Real Estate Millionaire Secrets, absolutely free. You just cover the shipping. That's noellsfreebook.com. This book I poured my heart into, and I share with you all of my secrets on real estate, how I was able to start with bad credit, no money, and from my parents' basement and become the millionaire that you see today. This book is packed full of information with cheat sheets, checklists, and so much more information that you can get everything done with just this book. And again, it's a gift to you, absolutely free. Go to noellsfreebook.com. That's Noelle, Noelle with an S, noellsfreebook.com. I want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.